Welcome back, Indie Champions. Today, while the world is buzzing about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Sniping Game of the Year, I'm here chasing a different thrill. Instead of the big blockbusters everyone's arguing about, I'm diving into the unique, surprising, and downright unforgettable indie releases of 2025. These aren't just hidden gems. They're the games that are pushing boundaries, stealing hours from my sleep, and maybe even outshining the giants. So stick around, because by the end, there's a good chance you'll find your next obsession right here in this list. Carimara, Beneath the Forlorn Limbs, welcomes you into a world so dripping with moody folklore and cozy Gothic atmosphere, you'll swear you can smell the moss and candlelax. Your Carimara, a mute magical entity summoned to a haunted, vine-covered cottage humming with secrets. The way you interact is unique. You collect and use cards as your only communication, picking your moments with care as you unravel mysteries alongside a wonderfully strange roster of locals. Every character has their own oddities, and every room is dense with secret clues, clever puzzles, and hidden achievements. One of the standout features here is the game's rich color palette, which combines with low-poly, PS1-inspired visuals to create an environment that feels both nostalgic and one-of-a-kind. The French voice work and atmospheric sound design draw you right into its world, making every interaction feel thick with meaning. Even though the experience is typically wrapped up in under an hour, it's densely packed and makes every moment count. Sure, some players want it to last longer, but it's hard to hold that against a game that leaves such a warm and a bit eerie aftertaste. If narrative-driven adventures with a gentle, experimental twist are your thing, Carimara is a must-play from this year's indie lineup. Chrono Warden of Time is a pulse-pounding love letter to classic platformers seen through the energetic lens of contemporary online fandom. You become Oro Crony, racing not just across platforms, but against time itself, using a dazzling arsenal of powers like stasis and haste that allow you to freeze hazards in place or zip through danger at breakneck speed. Each world bursts with pixel art flair and smartly designed enemies and obstacles that refuse to let things get stale. But what makes Chrono more than just another fast-paced platformer is the richness of its universe and the care poured into every detail. The soundtrack is a massive offering, weaving together remixed Hololive hits with new original tracks that fuel both the action and the nostalgia. The script's got real heart, lots of humor and genuine moments, whether you're a hardcore Hololive fan or totally new to VTubers. The levels push you to master your moves, with each hub world brimming with collectibles, secrets, and character-driven side stories. Some levels do run long, and there's been discussion over certain difficulty spikes and community controversies, but the vast majority agree. This is easily among the year's most rewarding and enthusiastically made indie platformers. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist is the Metroidvania I never knew I needed. Picking up where Ender Lilies left off, you guide Lilac, a new attuner with the power to cleanse maddened homunculi in a land slowly choking on supernatural toxins. The sequel ratchets up not only the story but the usability. Instant double jumps, unconstrained fast travel, maps that track every square inch, and save points right where you want them. Looking at you, boss fight marathoners. Magical abilities recharge instead of being consumed, and skill customization lets you tailor the level of challenge exactly to your taste. From casual tourism all the way to brutal marathon. The soundtrack is just jaw-dropping, matching the kinetic art direction that shines with rich animations and deeply detailed background storytelling. Exploration always pays off, and the world is crammed with upgrades, secrets, and meaningful progression. The only criticisms come from those who found the new narrative structure a bit more confusing, or missed the lonely, moody tone of Ender Lilies in favor of a busier, more populated world. Despite any quibbles, Ender Magnolia is a masterclass in ease of play and progression, making it a new gold standard, and a must for explorer types and action fans alike. Stepping into the shoes of Mick Carter in The Drifter, you're thrown headlong into a modern-day thriller with enough pulp, sci-fi, and heart to glue you to your screen. What starts as a gritty crime scene unravels into a labyrinth of conspiracies, strange science, and shadowy corporations. Classic throwback adventure, but with every frustrating bit of moon logic stripped away. The game's pacing is breathless, organized into snappy chapters, so you're always caught in the jet stream of the next twist or revelation. It's a cinematic experience, powered by pixel art that glows with atmospheric lighting and professional-grade voice acting. And here's a clever twist. Death isn't a punishment, it's a puzzle mechanic. Getting stuck or making mistakes triggers time-sensitive moments that flip the script and force you to think fast, using intuition rather than brute force guessing. While the final act may go a little heavy on convoluted sci-fi and not every twist will land with every player, the tension and emotional drive keep it fresh right to the credits. If you've ever bounced off classic point-and-clicks for being too obtuse, The Drifter is the game that'll bring you back. Chill with you, Lo-Fi Story drops the combat and competition but keeps the charm. It's a game that transforms your digital workspace into a cozy, welcoming vibe. Perfect for late-night study sessions or creative marathons. You sit beside Satone, your virtual companion, catching her progress on her own projects as calming lo-fi beats, ambient sounds, and soft visuals wash over you. It's a soothing blend of productivity tool and emotional support. The atmosphere is what really shines. Satone's animations, gentle comments, and small narrative unlocks create a sense of camaraderie, like working side by side with a friend. There's gamification in earning achievements and customizing your environment, plus smart UI choices that make this app as practical as it is comforting. Think Pomodoro timers, task lists, and flexible music options, including your own playlists. Users with ADHD or anyone struggling with isolation call it a game changer for focus. While many are eager for expanded music, deeper story arcs, or lighter touch on system performance, the overall verdict? It's an irresistibly wholesome tool for getting things done, and one of the year's best surprises. Dispatch takes the Office sitcom and dials it up to superhero proportions. As Robert Robertson, a fallen hero now trapped behind a desk, you're suddenly managing an unruly team of ex-villains through the chaos of LA's Hero Dispatch Center. Every episode delivers a mix of quick-witted banter, branching dialogues, and hands-on emergencies on a city strategy map, all against the backdrop of wild office drama and romance in the making. The writing is razor-sharp, laced with laugh-out-loud lines and sneaky drama. Every member of the quirky ensemble cast gets their moment, thanks to top-tier voice acting and expressive animation. You'll make decisions in branching conversations, dispatch your team to save the day, and sometimes just survive an impossibly awkward lunchroom encounter. Some minigames are on the simple side, and not every decision truly changes the outcome, but the energy, style, and heart keep you coming back for just one more episode. If you're craving something that blends character, crisis, and comedy, Dispatch is one to binge, and fans are already calling for a season 2. Deltarune continues to prove why Toby Fox is one of the most creative voices in indie gaming. This parallel universe to Undertale welcomes you with familiar faces, wildly inventive mechanics, and a bullet-dodging battle system packed with story and personality. The 4 available chapters are stuffed with humor, emotion, and new twists on the act system, allowing both newcomers and die-hard fans to slip right into its quirky world. The game's one-of-a-kind soundtrack is an ever-present highlight, perfectly setting the mood for every memorable moment and boss fight. The dialogue and character writing strike just the right balance of funny and heartwarming, too. Every secret room and subtle interaction feeds endless fan theories and discussion. Though episodic releases can leave you hungry for more, the polish and replay value already put Deltarune among this year's essential indie RPGs, a modern classic that only gets deeper the longer you stay in its world. Vellum is an action roguelike that feels like a love letter to bookworms and dungeon delvers alike. As magical scribes, you wield custom spell loadouts, literally defined by different ink colors, to battle your way through storybook tomes bursting with literary references and surprising mechanics. The illuminated library hub gives you a social space and loads of customization, while raids deliver grand, MMO-style boss encounters rarely seen in indie roguelikes. Replayability is the name of the game here, thanks to a dizzying number of spells, routes, upgrades, and build paths. Combining powers, exploiting synergies with co-op friends, and mastering the modular difficulty system provides something new every run. The writing and visual design are loaded with charm, and the constantly updating content keeps things fresh. Sure, some moments get visually hectic and certain late-game builds feel too similar, but for those looking to mix creative experimentation with action and challenge, Vellum is a must-try and a true hidden gem this year. Farthest Frontier transports you to the edge of civilization and dares you to build something lasting. Starting with nothing, you guide a scrappy band of settlers as you shape a village into a bustling, medieval city. Success means juggling resources, planning intricate production chains, and even managing crop rotation, a detail that farming fans will absolutely love. Every villager has their own life and tasks, and as you craft, build, and expand, it's easy to lose track of the hours. The game thrives in its deep simulation, watching supply lines come to life, overcoming environmental threats, tweaking layouts, and discovering new tech all scratch that city builder itch in a fresh way. Modding support ensures there's always something new on the horizon. While you may hit slowdowns in the late game and find the combat and villager AI a little quirky, the flexibility and difficulty and sheer satisfaction of building your own thriving township keep bringing players back. If just one more year means anything to you, this is the indie builder that will make 2025 unforgettable. Kingdoms of the Dump brings back the SNES spirit in the most unexpected way, a full-fledged RPG set in a whimsical world of garbage. You play as Dustin Binsley, the trash can knight, exploring lands filled with lively puns, clever world building, and more heart than you'd ever expect from a game built on banana peels and empty bottles. Every town, enemy, and puzzle is lovingly detailed, making exploration a strange delight. Combat puts a fresh spin on the classics, blending grid-based tactics with well-timed button presses for that extra edge. The story isn't just a send-up to 90s nostalgia. It's packed with big feelings, smart jokes, and a party of lovable outcasts as you travel the sprawling, intricately pixelated world map. The late-game content is still getting extra polish, but the devs are quick to update and support the community. When you want a throwback RPG that actually feels new, Kingdoms of the Dump is ready for you to dive in. Skate Story is a skating adventure unlike anything you've ever played. It's skateboarding as dreamscape, placing you in the shoes, or wheels, of a glass demon carving his way out of the underworld. Every level is a breathtaking, surreal wonderland of shimmering lights and hypnotic music. The controls are demanding but rewarding. Every trick landed and every combo pulled off delivers a surge of satisfaction. Customization is deep. You unlock decks, wheels, and tricks that change both your look and playstyle. The progression keeps you pushing through, and the combination of ambient world building and a psychedelic soundtrack creates a vibe you just want to get lost in. While that early difficulty can feel steep, and some levels will test your patience, pushing through will reward you with a truly unique experience. If you're looking for indie games that blend challenge, style, and pure atmosphere, Skate Story is a ride you don't want to miss. Demonschool injects tactical RPGs with supernatural, late 90s anime flair. You play as Faye, managing not only demon battles on grid-based maps, but also the ups and downs of university life on a spooky island. Strategy here feels like solving a puzzle rather than grinding stats, and you get to rewind and replan your moves, making every encounter about clever thinking, not luck. Between bouts of monster slaying, you explore campus, chat up a cast of eccentric classmates, and dip into light social management without ever stressing over deadlines. There are side quests and fun team-building moments, but the real addiction is stringing together complex combos in stylish, bite-sized battles. Some wished for more depth in party customization or a meatier story, but the art, music, and breezy pacing make Demonschool an indie tactics highlight, especially if you love that Persona flavor mixed with Into the Breach style strategy. With Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector, you're free, but always one dangerous roll away from losing it all. You're on the run as an artificial being, a sleeper, trying to escape both criminal and corporate claws in a galaxy bristling with threats and opportunities. The dice-driven system keeps tensions high as you gather a crew, manage resources, and risk everything to shape your own destiny. The world building is deep, with new habitats, return characters, and stories told through atmospheric visuals and a killer soundtrack. Choices matter. Your relationships, your ship, even your paranoia can spark new arcs or devastating setbacks. Some find the stress and lack of manual saves unforgiving, and the narrative sometimes less shocking than the first, but the payoff is immense for those who stick with it. For fans of deep role-playing, science fiction, and narrative risks, Citizen Sleeper 2 is another feather in the cap for anyone who wants story with real consequences. Hades 2 delivers everything I loved about the first, and then some. Now you're Melinoe, the underworld's immortal princess, scrapping through new realms on a quest to topple Chronos himself. The combat is more kinetic, the magic deeper, Omega attacks and a new mana system make each weapon feel both familiar and thrillingly fresh. What draws me back again and again is the sheer amount of choice. New characters, new progression routes, and tons of little surprises each run. Dynamic boss fights, customizable settings, and that signature supergiant polish all combine for a roguelike that feels fresh no matter how much you play. Some might wrestle with grindier late-game bits or miss the original's focused story, But this sequel is a safe bet to lead Indie Game of the Year talk. If you want action, polish, and stories that stick, Hades 2 is what you're looking for. Finally, it's Hollow Knight Silksong, the sequel that's been defining indie anticipation for years. And yes, I already made a full deep dive video on Silksong, so be sure to check that out next for my complete thoughts. As Hornet, you dash through the magical, mysterious kingdom of Farlorn, fighting for answers and survival. The world is even bigger, the platforming is tighter, and every encounter ups the stakes both in challenge and spectacle. The visual and audio presentation is stunning. Each area teems with secrets, tough bosses, and a tangible sense of progression. The difficulty curve is no joke, but landing every combo or uncovering a hidden passage feels like a serious accomplishment. Sure, some will miss the dreamy mystery or find certain quests a touch grindy, but for me, Silksong is still this year's contender for Indie Game of the Year. If you crave discovery, mastery, and immersive atmosphere, Silksong continues to set the bar for the genre. That wraps up my tour of the best indie games of 2025. Games that prove you don't need blockbuster budgets to deliver unforgettable experiences. Maybe you're all in on the hype for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, but I guarantee these indies have the heart, surprise, and creativity to win you over. Which one is topping your list this year? Did I miss your favorite? Leave your hot takes down below, and don't forget, I've got Silksong covered in a dedicated deep dive if that's your indie king. See you in the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome content.